Ahead and hit. Okay, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to talk about the top tips from convention. So, hey, you didn't even have to go. You just show up here and take notes. Talk about inexpensive travel and time efficiencies and all of that. So, good morning, everyone. I hope you can get inspired today. I appreciate you taking the time to come to coaching. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to your fellow agents too, as we share our ideas together, not just my ideas. I thought I would share screen. And all right, can everybody see that? We're on go to page 173 really quick before we get into these top tips. I just thought this could be an overarching message today about the becoming process. I hope that all of us are always a student, you know? There's always something we can learn from every transaction, everything in life, struggles, successes, and, you know, all that stuff. I think that there's kind of a gem in this thought about becoming. So when you're considering hopes and dreams, instead of focusing on everything that you want to have, or what you want to do, focus on what you need to become. And this will seem to aim us a little better. So we want, what we want is like dreaming. So that's kind of nice. And we talk about this in the core 4 idea, where a hope is an idea, you know, it's like a dream. And it's nice and it has its place for sure. There's nothing wrong with hope, but it lacks power. So when you change the question to what do I need in order to, what do I need to become in order to achieve this? Now you've got something of power. So first of all, it focuses on you and your advancement and you're climbing the mountain of learning. So, and becoming something should be exciting to all of us, right? Like I could become something better than I am now, you know? And really, I've learned that my only comparison is trying to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday, right? Can I be a better person than I was yesterday? And I could categorize this into all those things that we talk about in the past, like, am I healthier? Am I physically healthier? You know, do I eat better? Do I study what I need to study? Am I a better professional? Am I a better, you know, husband, friend, father, neighbor, sister, brother, right? I can categorize a lot of different things. How's my soul? You know, am I becoming a better version of myself? So in order to become blank, I need to do more or less of. And I think that's a better way to look at things. And then, of course, what we do is we put these categories around it. Like I can believe things. I can have a good affirmation about it and not a negative one. I can ask discovery questions like, what's really in the way here? You know, is there an elephant in the room? Is there a key question that needs to be answered? Who can help me? Answers are often people around us. Can I get myself in gear and schedule my first task so I don't constantly, you know, get ready, right? Next is what do I need to learn, which is much like what I need to become. And then how do I measure my progress towards that thing? So good reminder to start us off. So grab your notes, and I'm just going to start bullet pointing these as fast as I possibly can. Now, I'm not going to take all the time today. And I noticed that Steve Chin is on, and a lot of you that were in convention. Jill was at convention. Let's see. Gosh, going through the list here. Well, Debbie Sexton was quoted at convention, by the way. Yeah, she's famous. And her video played. Yep, about Berkshire Hathaway. Yeah.
I didn't know that was going to be aired. I would have gone.
Yeah, well.
Given autographs.
Yeah, it happened and it did. And it was great. And you were very well spoken.
Yeah, Debbie, there were people lined up asking where you were. Next time.
Next time.
Yeah.
Next time. If only I could have sold that house in this market, not in that market.
Right.
4 million
okay.
more.
You ready for number 1? I think this is the number one thing. And here, here are my notes, guys. They're, this is my preparation for today. Number one, write this down. Your purpose is not what you do. Your purpose is not what you do. Your purpose is what happens to people when you do what you do. Your purpose is what happens to people when you do what you do. This was given by Jade Simmons. So there's the author of that quote. She was a Black pianist, concert pianist, and talked about her journey. And she realized that she could make an impact by speaking and sharing her journey of being a pianist and inspiring others. And boy, was she spot on. I was walking out to take a call, and Tammy was right next to me, and we were making our way through the back of the room there, and there's 5,000 people. Hold on a second. Gotta love the human body and its imperfections. Still fighting this cough a little. But I was on my way out to take this call, and she started this quote. She goes, "Your purpose is not what you do." And I stopped, and I'm like, okay, what's my purpose? Jade, tell me. And I thought it was beautifully said. It's what happens to people. And I love to master our why and our reason and our purpose. I think the better you understand that, the better your what's and how's are. And I think that's a real gem, right? So understand that it's what happens to people. And that's really should be the heart of what we do. Okay, I'll give you a number 2 here. Number 2. Okay. Number 2 is given by Maggie Cook. And it is 2 most important days of your life. One was, okay, so the 2 most important days of your life are 1, the day you were born, and 2, the day you find out why. So Maggie Cook's journey, this was the lady who really grew up in very, very poverty situation, and ended up selling her business for $291 million. It's a salsa business. And I believe that her first account was Whole Foods, and Whole Foods funded the value of this company over time. And it was then sold to Campbell's, if I got that story right. She's 5'2", spitball, man. There's tons of energy, take on the world. And she had some real struggles. So here's number 3 from her. Number 3. If not this, then something better. If not this, then something better. You can imagine the millions of obstacles that were in this lady's way her whole life. She had a tough relationship, I think, with her dad. There wasn't a dry eye in the entire place when she told the story that when she came out as gay to her dad, and her dad told her that you were going to die in prison and die of AIDS, and was really bitter and really off base, but obviously, and it was a really hard thing for her to hear. About 2 months before her dad died, he wrote her a letter about how proud of her he was, and she read that letter to all of us, and it was extremely inspiring. Not only to realize that she had to transcend a lot of obstacles, but didn't always have the help of her parents. And that made it even more amazing, her journey. She just was a relentless person. I mean, absolutely relentless. She talked about, obviously she was the poster child for resiliency, being relentless, and resourceful. And that was her kind of 3 R's. So yeah, her first, there's a little story about her getting an order from Whole Foods that she had to make 10,000 pounds of salsa. And so the quick story is she didn't have enough help. So she called the state and asked for help. And this is in Mexico, by the way. And the next morning, 100 workers showed up to make salsa. And she was blown away, like, wow, I can't believe this is actually happening. And after about 4 or 5 days of working with these people and realizing this is actually going to happen, she's going to produce the salsa in time for Whole Foods. One of the workers came up and said, thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to work. And she said, are you kidding? I'm grateful for you guys. She goes, and this place says, I'm just glad that we have something we can do. And she goes, really, why is that? She goes, well, because most of the time we just have to stay in jail in the prison. We don't get to get out. And she's like, what? You're from the prison? And she goes, Maggie, we're all from the prison. Yeah, we're all from the prison. So, and she's like, oh my gosh, right? So she, cool journey. All right, number 4. All right, where's my number 4? I see my 5, got my 3. Oh, I guess my 5 is going to have to become my 4. I don't see my 4. Okay, right here. This is actually from Christy Budnick, who's our new CEO, took Chris Stewart's place. And okay, I got to tell you, talking about attitude and stuff. The airlines had changed all of our flights. I don't know how many times, seriously. I don't know anyone who did not get something changed. A seat, a departure, a layover. It was not fun getting in and out of Louisville. Debbie, you saved yourself a lot of hassle. I'm just telling you, because it was not the best destination to get to. It was such a pain in the butt to get there. But my seat got moved twice. I guess kept getting moved back and back and back and back to the plane. Well, I sit down on the 21st row, and guess who's sitting right across the aisle from me? Christy Budnick. So I had a nice conversation with her, and Tammy kept nudging me going, gosh, Will, let the lady, breathe for a minute, and I couldn't help myself, Steve. I had to seize the moment, I had to seize the moment. Like, I found out how much it costs to have Lenny Kravitz come, because if you're ever going to have a party and you thought, hey, I think I'll invite Lenny Kravitz, and you want to know to yourself, hey, I wonder what it would cost to have Lenny Kravitz come play at my party. Anyone, did I already tell you guys this? It was $500,000. Berkshire spent over $500,000 to have Lenny Kravitz come and play for 90 minutes. So a little out of my budget there, but dang it. I was like, I guessed, like, what did you spend? 100, 200,000? And she's like, oh no, way more than that. And I went 4, 5? She's like, 500,000. Wow. Anyway, he was worth it. So here's what she said in the grand session there. Are we dealing with burnout? Now, look, not everybody is, we're on different, I guess career paths are on different levels at all different times, and we're all different folks here. But this market has created a 24/7 proposition for a lot of people. And so I'm just going to remind, this is my 5th tip, or 4th tip, right? Sorry, if you're dealing with burnout. I think when we're talking about taking care of ourselves, diet, exercise, study, serving someone, and getting outside is food for the soul. So, don't think that you can skip this stuff. All right. You're not that strong. I'm sorry. You're not. And if you don't diet and exercise, look, not diet, have a good diet. Okay. And if you're not studying, it's hard to be happy and fulfilled. Okay. And if you're not serving someone else other than yourself, you're going to have a hard time being fulfilled. And I think if you don't get outside, oh my gosh. So great time of year. We got the great range. It smelled great this morning. If my dang cough wasn't lingering, I definitely would have gone for a run this morning. All right, let's make this next one number 5. These are two of my favorite words. Having empathy and perspective. Empathy and perspective. Empathy is love and perspective. So you have empathy for everyone because you can see things from their point of view. This is a great, great way to present anything at any time. You look at the world through their lenses. That's empathy. And you have compassion for their struggles. That's empathy. I mean, I just think without empathy, our presentations are lost. Right? And having perspective, matter of fact, one of my tips, I'm going to come back to that, I think is really key because we don't always have all the answers. We've got most of them. Right? I can go with confidence. I got most of the answers. I'm going to have answers to questions that people don't even know what to ask. Remember, we talked about they don't even know what the problem is. So something to keep in mind there. Let's go to number 6 is from a person. His name is, let me get this right. Oh man. Ty Bennett. So number 6, Ty Bennett. You guys all writing this down? Head nods? Yes? That's good? Okay, Ty Bennett was everything about a power of a story. So I really like this guy, younger guy, real successful early in life, like at age 22, graduate out of BYU. And I was like, wow, he's a Utah guy, you know? Here we are in Louisville. He's talking to a mixed group, mixed audience. And he's he was, you know, from Provo. And he talked about the power of storytelling. So here are some of the things about storytelling. So when we're in our presentations, I think it's important to say things like, you know, we've had other sellers or other clients with a similar situation, and then you tell the story. Or, you know, that reminds me of a case or a problem, a property situation, and you tell the story. Stories are interesting and they help teach, right? Sorry for Sunday school. You know, you got to bear it if you come to anything that I'm doing. Sorry for Sunday school. But in my view, my humble opinion, the greatest man to ever walk the planet, ever in the history of mankind, taught in parables, you know, like that's how we learned it. A parable. A parable is simply a story to teach something. Often there were metaphors and things that were similar like that, right? And they were used to teach. So try to keep stories part of your presentation. I think they will really help you. Want me to give you 8 tips on making a better story? Okay. All right. I'm just going to read them off real quick. Number 1, imagine if you were sitting next to me when, we'll place them in the scene. So you have a story and then you say, imagine you were watching, imagine you were sitting next to me when, and then you tell the story. That places someone in the scene. Okay, so the tip is placing them in the scene. How you do it is, imagine you were watching. Imagine you were sitting next to me when I saw, right? Number 2, reinforce relatability. Reinforce relatability. Every story has to have a struggle to a solution, which I thought is, again, genius on what we're trying to conquer here. Remember, our problem with value is that people don't understand there's a problem. So if there's no problem, there's no solution. If there's no solution, there's no value. All right. So in a story, we go from struggle to solution. Okay. So when you're telling the story, what's the struggle? Right. So you go through the struggle. Number 4. Well, Number 4 is when I take notes, I often put MT. And when I go MT, that's me going, hey, that's my thought. You know, I'm taking notes, but something cued my thought. And there's that problem solution value. Number 5, give the subject a voice. So like quote them. They said this, you know, like put them on stage. Dialogue can often be used for humor. So you need levity. You know, you need like, don't take yourself so seriously. It's okay to laugh. You know, like don't go meet people and be so rigid that you lose your realty, right? You're being real. Don't lose your realty. You know, we say, let's be real about real estate. We got to be real people. We got to be okay to laugh. Use details only that are needed and trim out everything else. Like don't have long drawn out stories. The details don't matter. Every detail must have a purpose. Last one is metaphors are a great tool when things are complex. Talk about the parable example, right? Shepherd and sheep. Got it, right? Shepherd, sheep. That's parable. That's an example. That's a metaphor. So I love this whole thing about stories. Okay, and I'm going to add. Let me add to it because there's some more gems here. Ty Bennett didn't bring this up, but it reminded me that Steve Jobs was really good at telling a story and having a villain. It's got to be a villain. Okay, and back to Ty, he was telling his little boys a story. Hey, Daddy, tell us a story. And he was in a hurry, didn't want to really tell a story. So he said, son, you know, two Smurfs stood on a rock. Okay, there's your story. Now you guys go to bed. And the little boy said, Dad, that's not a story. Well, yeah, two blue Smurfs stood on a rock. He goes, no, Dad, every story has to have a bad guy. Every story has to have a bad guy. So where's the villain? You know, where's the villain in our stories? So struggle to solution, the villain causes the struggle. And if we don't talk about problems, we don't get solution, we don't get value. I think this is all tied in. I thought it was wonderful discussion and something that we should all sharpen our saw on. What stories are we telling and how do we, you know, grow and benefit from that? Okay, number 7. Cooking right along here. Okay, okay, this is from Heather Hansen. Heather Hansen is a trial attorney. You know I had to go to this class. Guess who else was in the class? Mark O'Brien. Of course we had to go to this class. Heather Hansen's a trial attorney. So what do you think she was there to teach us? She was there to help us how to present. So, you know, win an argument, show value. You know, how do you win over a jury? Her little breakout was packed. I think the room, you know, held 200 people and she had 200 in there. It was crowded. So here are the quick tips, okay? First one, it's the concept of being an advocate. And she liked that definition of herself better than anything, is that she became a very good advocate. You know, when we think about fiduciary duty, I think we should add the adjective of advocate to our definition and how we define ourselves. When you hire me, you get an advocate. How does that sound? Does that help build a picture? I'm not just your agent, I'm your advocate. I think we should add that to our dialogue. When you hire me, you get an advocate. Okay, in order to advocate your ideas, your marketing, your value, who we are at Berkshire, overcoming objections, there are some 5 C's, she put them, 5 C's of of advocacy. Okay. I'm going to give them to you. Number one, credibility. So what she said, of course, is if I'm going to have credibility with the jury, I have to do what I say I'm going to do. So in my opening statement, when I say the evidence will show, then I have to produce this evidence or I lose credibility. Makes sense, right? So credibility is about honesty and integrity. And oh my gosh, right? You have to be this. This is unbendable. This is expectation at Berkshire. This is who we are. If you don't know the answer, never say you do. Just find the answer. You can have confidence that the answer can be found without having low confidence that you don't know the answer. Nobody has the answer to all things at all times, right? But credibility is all about honesty and showing honesty. That builds credibility. The next one is connection. So this is where we look for commonality. We do this, I think, a lot naturally. You know, we look for common backgrounds, people that we know, or, you know, paths in life or experiences that we've had, and what our kids do or grandkids do, neighborhoods, where we were born. Oh my gosh, where you vacation, you go on. And you look for something where there's a connection, because that way they feel like they know you. And this is all about building trust, right? Credibility builds trust, connection builds trust. The next one is compassion. So compassion, of course, is the love. I think I could define this in a lot of different ways, but compassion is certainly a love and a protection of somebody else. So think about all the things we've been saying in previous coaching about why someone buys a home. And it's not the walls, you know? And really, you know, is it worth going into debt for? Well, the walls aren't, the material things aren't, but what can happen with inside of a home is definitely worth that. Because you can't get it anywhere else, right? The value is endless to it, it's priceless. And I think when you're compassionate, you understand that. And when someone has a concern, you are empathetic because you have compassion. So credibility, connection, and compassion. So there was an object lesson I thought was really, really good. So I want you to imagine, okay, here we are, there's 200 people in this room. And she said, if you guys got a blank piece of paper, grab a pen and I want you to draw a coffee cup for me. Would everybody just take a minute and draw a coffee cup? So imagine we're doing that. We're drawing a coffee cup. And she says she's done this, 100 times to thousands of people. And what was interesting is that the perspective is always the same, that the cup is drawn from the side. So you got the handle, coming down, and you see kind of like the cup like this, and the handle's on the side, and everybody kind of sees, oh, coffee cup. I will draw it like this, right? Maybe it's on a platter, but it was from the side. So no one draws it from the top. Like looking, here's the cup, looking top where you have like, hey, inside, maybe there's even coffee or cream or something inside this cup. Maybe there could be a straw and you could see, from the top. She said that you've got to understand that perspective is really, really important when you're looking at things. And she's encouraging, I've said this before, you have to look at things from different points of view, because there really isn't one side and another side. There's multiple sides. And I've talked about the sphere that's on my desk a couple of times. When I look at complex issues, this is what I see. I kind of see a ball. I see a sphere. I see something with layers. What this does is in my mind is it reminds me, Will, to get multiple perspectives before I pass judgment or try to find diagnosis, right? No matter how many times I've heard whatever I've heard, I should ask a lot of questions to discover different points of view, okay? So this leads me to the next thing that Heather Hansen had to say, trial attorney. She goes, I'm obsessed with question. I'm like, this is my gal. I found my leader. You know, she loves the law and she loves question. I have said, I don't know how many times, questions are the answers. Questions are the answers, right? You want to be better? Ask better questions. Be committed to discovery. Ask every detail you have such a clear picture. And remember, we played this game in live. Boy, it's been forever since we had live coaching. It sucks. Let's put an end to that, by the way. But I used to do this. I'll do it again, I'm sure, a million times before we finally just get so tired of it. But I would say, think of a word, any word, and you'd write it down, right? And then you turn to the person next to you without telling them what the word is. They would have to ask you questions to see what you wrote down. Okay. And the only rule of the game is you can't say something like spell the word for me. And you can't say what's the word. Okay. So Paige, I have compassion for Will Cooper. Okay. Well, thanks, Paige. But what would happen is you quickly, so look, the shortest amount of questions was the winner. Okay. And if you've done this with me before, you would realize that the best question is something like this. I might say to Julie, Julie, describe your word to me in great detail. Take your time. Could you please describe to me your word in great detail? Go ahead, take your time. And if she did that honestly, she would describe it till the point where I got it. And if there was a follow-up question, I might say something like, could you clarify that for me? I make no assumptions. So for the longest time, I wanted had this goal of owning an 815 Taylor guitar. And this is very specific. So you could say, oh, his word is guitar, right? I got it. His word is guitar. No, that's really not it. It was very specific, made by Taylor, not just any maker, for one. And it was an 800 series, and more specifically, it was the 815. And by the way, this is Taylor's like top of the line guitar. It's not only beautiful, made with like 11 different kinds of woods. I probably should know this because I do finally own one. It took a long time to justify the cost. These guitars run $4,000 to $5,000. They're beautiful. They sound amazing. And I've just always wanted one. It just was a beautiful sounding instrument. But for someone to say, oh, the word is guitar, was kind of like, it just said to me, you didn't really know me. You see what I'm saying? Heather was obsessed with question till the answer was so focused. Every pixel in the picture was clear to her. Okay, now you're a better physician. Your medication's better. Your solution's better because you have diagnosed it down to the cell. And now that's something that I think we could celebrate if we can present this way. So be absolutely committed to question. Don't skip that part. You guys, I got to get water. Hey, Ange, want to do me a favor? Okay, I'm dying over here, man. Okay, what else on this? Oh, okay. Let me tell you her favorite question. Okay, Heather's favorite question. When she would interview someone, she would say, and she's advocating for them, and think about this in our listing presentations or working with buyers. What if we asked this question? I thought this was awesome. Tell me what I need to know. Wow. Tell me what I need to know. It's big, it's general, but it's like, Angie, you're amazing. You know, I have a lot of friends in life, but Angie's one of my favorite friends. Oh, that was good. Okay, yeah. Tell me what I need to know. I think you need, look, tonality and body communication is huge. So you're doing this with sincerity. You really are. You really do want to know. So tell me what I need to know. Okay, what number are we on? 8? 8? Okay, number 8. Okay, I have to admit this is a criticism of the speaker. And I look, I think she was fantastic. I really, really do. I thought she missed a major point, and without it, I thought it lacked. It was interesting. She talked about compassion, but it had a staged feel to it, if you know what I mean. Like compassion was valuable only if she got what she got, if she could get what she needed out of it. Think trial attorney. Okay, win the case. Okay, that's it. Just win the case. So using compassion as a tool to get what you want, So this is my tip. I think, and here's my word, intent. So I wrote down my thought. Intent is powerful. Okay. So you have to have enough focus on someone else that your intent is solely them first. And if you're selling, I look, I get it. Believe me, I get it. How do you not, after 30 years of real estate, not understand that we are in a sales business? The problem, I think, is revealed when there's this point in a discussion where you're either going to advise them on what's best for them and it leads away from a sale, or you're going to sell them on something that's better for you to make a sale. You understand? And if you put on a show, I think people will pick up on it. I think you'll lose. I think it'll wreck you. I think it'll wreck us. And I think intent is everything. To be clear, there's absolutely zero wrong with us helping people and getting paid and compensated for what we do, and we do well. But just like a medical professional, that, you know, my dad's a doctor, my brother's a doctor. You know, the oath they take is first, do no harm. Did you know that? Doctors take an oath. First, do no harm. So that should be ours. We would never talk someone into selling when it's not good for them, right? That's what I mean. Intent is powerful. You guys agree with that? I think that one that's got to be us, right? That's got to be us at Berkshire. We've got to be committed to that. John, I see the 3 of the 5 C's. And I think we're gonna have to buy our book. You know, I'm trying not to laugh because every time I laugh, I have to cough. But I think we're gonna have to buy our book because I just remembered that I don't know what the other 2 freaking C's are. There's another great object lesson. Okay, we're gonna actually try this though. Okay, you guys, if you can turn your video on for a second. If you can, like Fran and Travis and Hannah and Nicole, and just turn your video on. Let's try this, as many of us as we can. Thanks, you guys. Hey, Kimmy, how are you? She's out for a walk. Hannah, thanks for playing along. Jacqueline, hey, so look, these people are showered, Angie. They're presentable for the day. you know, we're going to have to stop that, you know, thing about no video, no shower thing. Hey, Joe, try this one on. Try this too. This just takes a second. You guys ready to play along? Okay, now here's the object lesson. What you're going to do, so I got this right. You're going to snap your fingers. You don't need audio, but you're going to snap your fingers 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to have to pretend that there's someone next to you. So if there is, great. Or you can look at us as the person sitting next to you. And you're going to draw a capital E on your forehead. I'll say it again. 5 snaps, capital E on your forehead. Don't overthink it. It's got to be spontaneous. Are you guys ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now draw the E. Okay, did you do it? Okay, here's what we just found out. How did you draw the E? Did you draw it so it looked right for you, or did you draw it so it read correctly to them, to whoever's looking at you? Which way did you draw it? Okay, you're all gonna have to turn around. You're going, okay, look, an E, that means the E has to be, the legs have to be this way, right? Now, this is, the camera's flipping us, right, Joe? Doesn't Zoom flip us?
Only if you choose it to.
Okay, so, well, look, I'm looking at me right now and it's flipped because this is my left, but on my camera, that's the right side. Okay, so it's actually flipped. This is gonna be a hard one to do on Zoom. So forget the camera, but look, I'm looking at, you know, E is drawn this way. Okay, that would be correct. That's an E, right? E. So if you drew the E so someone else could see it, your subconscious is thinking about another person, which is a victory. Okay, it's a victory because you're saying, well, gosh, the E is for someone else to read. If you drew it for yourself, then you're thinking, how do I see the E on me? And you're thinking about yourself. So this whole thing about presenting and having perspective, the coffee cup, how you communicate with someone else, I thought that was an amazing object lesson, probably done better in a live setting, clearly, because, you know, Zoom flips the camera around. But isn't that interesting? And how that reveals every word and every sentence out of our, you know, out of our mouths should be done from their point of view. You know, seeing the world through their lenses. So I really love that. The name of the book. Let me look. Shoot. I don't know. Let's just Google her. Someone Google her. Heather Hansen, trial attorney, advocate. Those are the words I'd use to search her. When you guys find it, put it in the chat. In no particular order here, but she, here it is. Elegant Warrior. Elegant Warrior. Oh, you found it, Joe? Nice. Okay.
And you could book her for your next birthday party. or if you really want to go with a big band, get her and Lenny Kravitz to do a mashup.
Awesome. I kind of did with Heather. I did my 7, my 8, my 10, my 11. Hey Joe, question. What's the halo effect in marketing?
When something shines so bright, it illuminates and gives value to all things around it. So if you are, for example, our brand of Berkshire Hathaway and the subdivision of that brand being Berkshire Hathaway Home Services of America, and then our brand being Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Utah Properties. So the more people love and respect Berkshire Hathaway, the main brand, the halo effect shines across all those companies.
Got it. That was my number 9 was the brand is very aware of the halo effect. And so they, this was more levity than anything. They're starting a new TV commercial video called Perfect Home. Instead of perfect home, it's Pa. And it's about dogs in their house. So it's just kind of a cute commercial, and it's a dog house, but the camera view looks like it's a real house, and then as you pull back, you realize it's this dog house, and the description is like, 0 bedrooms, no bathrooms, and anyway, it's just kind of a cute fun thing to show that, I think that we care, and it was all about putting out there that we're approachable. We've been saying this before a lot, is I think Berkshire Hathaway is a selective company, but not an arrogant company, and that we're real, like we're serious, but we're also very approachable. We have to own humanity and be people, laugh at ourselves, not take ourselves too seriously, but also be very, very committed to a high level outcome. And I really, really like that. Another tip. This is coming back to remind us about Alan Dalton and what we say matters. And we need to stop saying some things, and we need to start saying some things better. For one, we should never say past client. We should never say listing appointment. We do marketing presentations, and we don't have past clients. We have forever clients, because we're a forever agent. We're a forever brand. There's nothing past to it. You think about that. That's kind of a weird. How did we inherit that one? Oh, they're a past client. That's weird. They're a past friend of mine. Yeah. It's like they're an ex-client. Where did we? What? Who told it? Like, we've been sabotaged somehow. Hey, I know how to wreck the relationships. Why don't they just start calling their clients past clients? Good, ex-clients. Steve Chin brought up the thing about don't say a win-win. I think the heart's in the right place on that one, frankly, but I think it's a better way to say it. You're an advocate for your client. And, I've often had to say, look, I'm not going to, my job is not to make it easy, for the buyer to, get a lower price on a house when I represent the seller. I'm not going to fix I'm not going to write their rep sheet for them, right? I'm not going to hand over language that would help them when I represent an advocate for the seller. And I've often had to say that. Remember, that's not my job. We recommend language that would support our seller's position, and we have legal assets for that. Okay, maybe we should open it up to everybody else now. If I got all my, I could never download everything in just a short amount of time. But boy, that's some good stuff, guys. Well, look, you got to go to the next convention. I know it's a year away. It actually is a year away from like right now. It's in Vegas, but just make a commitment right now. You'll be there. Even you, Julie, because you'll be coming from Arizona, maybe, right? But yeah, go to Berkshire Convention. You you just got to go. I've been to 30 something conventions. A few years there, I was going to multiple conventions in the same year. So I probably am well over 30 actually, but I always get something from it. And even though Louisville was a pain in the butt to get to and get back from and all of that, it was great to be around our fellow agents and be with them in person. We had great meals and dinners and networking and thoughts. And boy, look, I've got 5 pages of notes here. And it's always a great time to grow and improve and add to our, add to our growth. So I just think it's a must. So it's going to be really easy to go next year, right? So don't miss it. In Vegas, smoke-free casino, no casino, no smoking, convention center in Vegas. And Vegas is an easy place to get around. You don't have to rent a car, you can walk, and it's just real affordable. Thinking about also for those in the St. George office, I think we might want to host like a lunch or something for those who are traveling through, and maybe just feed everyone lunch. If they got up early and wanted to drive to St. George, we just host a lunch and they could continue their drive on to Vegas. Might want to do that or think about that. A lot of our agents have not seen the St. George office. It'll be all built out by then, our 3rd floor. It's a beautiful facility next to the Painted Pony. So I've been thinking about that. Maybe there's something we could do there to network together. I know it's a year away. It feels like that's going to be an eternity from now, but it'll come fast. Anyway, make it a priority, I think, to attend convention next year. There'd be no reason not to. Okay, anything else you guys got? What am I missing on those who were there? I'm sure I'm missing a lot. So feel free to weigh in on whatever you got from convention. We got about 3 or 4 minutes left. Nothing, guys? You're so quiet. Huh. Okay. I guess our cup is full then. Well, that's a lot of stuff. Go back and see how that applies to you and what stands out. Because we're all so different, what stands out to one will certainly not necessarily stand out to the other. So there isn't anything, like I would say, hey, everyone on this, but that's why I love going to these things, because my thoughts and what I need are pretty obvious, because my mind emphasizes them pretty quickly. Like, hey, Will, this is for you, or this is valuable to those that would listen to you. And I often think about you guys with a lot of things, but certainly at convention on what can I bring back that might help you. So I wonder if there's an overarching final thought here. Well, I guess if nothing's real loud in my head, then I'm not going to waste everyone's time and just try to fill something. But Sherry, hard act to follow. Well, okay, your coffee cup fills is full. All right. Well, hey, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me on coaching again. Next week, let's see, before you jump off, I think we're gonna. Oh man, are we gonna do this next week? Hey Joe, question for you.
Shoot.
Could we do a? Oh shoot! Wait a minute, I'm not gonna be here. Yeah, there's no coaching next week. I'm in Atlanta at the Realty Alliance convention, annual thing going. Tom Roney and I are going. We land on Monday night and don't get back until Thursday. So here's the question. How about the 13th of April? Oh man. I'm cooking a class on BAC, and I kind of did a kind of a rough run at this with a small group here in Old Mill. I'm pretty happy with the class. Mark and I would like to present this to everyone. Trying to think about when we should do that though. How many of you look? I'm looking at Kimmy and Lane. I already know this answer, but I'd love to do this live at hybrid. Like here in Old Mill, fill the room up, but also have it by Zoom for those who can't travel down. Is this possible to do, Joe?
Anything's possible, Will.
But I'm looking at the calendar, and you got Easter and all that in there, and we're going to be working from St. George office from the 17th to the 21st. I don't know. Stay tuned on that, guys. Maybe it's going to come on the 27th would be my next open for that. That might give us enough time to prepare for it.
Yeah, work out some technical stuff.
Okay.
Hey,
All right,
Will.
guys. Well, hey, have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me. I love you so much. Go out there and find someone to help. That makes a great life when you do, right?